I've said in the past that I think a market correction is necessary for the Lakewood Ranch and Florida in general, and we are seeing that now. Now, I don't think it's as bad as what some people think it's going to be, but I think that we're in the middle of it. And on today's video, I'm going to go over what the market report is here for the Lakewood Ranch area up through May of 2025. Hello, it's Mark Boehmig, Michael Saunders and Company. In this channel, Living in Lakewood Ranch, we cover all the areas around Lakewood Ranch from Bradenton to Sarasota and Siesta Key up to Anna Maria Island. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to dive into today and talk to you about from a standpoint of what is going on here in the Florida market. And I wanted to know, what is the Florida market looking like compared to Lakewood Ranch? Well, I think Lakewood Ranch is probably faring better than most. And I think that the reason is because we're not as dependent on the condo market here. While we do have a lot of condos here, most of them are newer. You know, Miami is having a very difficult time with the high rises that they have there, with the assessments that are being put on the buildings after they've had to go through their milestone reports. So I did a video about a year and a half ago about how I thought that that was going to impact the condo market, and that is coming to fruition. We're having a little bit more difficult with condos, even here in our area of Manatee and Sarasota County, but I don't think that we're going to find it as difficult as some of the markets like Miami. I do think that a price correction has been needed here for a while because the price increases were not sustainable for most people buying property. Now, one of the complaints that I do get here in Lakewood Ranch is people complaining about the traffic. But you can't have good growth without some type of traffic. You know, we have a lot of new restaurants right here on University Parkway between the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, the Cafe 131, Bar Italia, Owen's Fish Camp. They're all in one little complex, not to mention all the restaurants that we have on Main Street in Sarasota and in Main Street in Lakewood Ranch, and also at the UTC Mall. People go to the mall all the time. So there's just no way of getting around having all the things that you want and being able to sustain the number of people that need to go into these establishments to make them worthwhile. So while we appreciate all of the places that we have to visit here to eat, to shop, and do all the things that we want to do, it does come with a little bit of a price, and that's usually traffic. So let's get into the market report for what we're actually seeing here up through the end of May of 2022. Our number of homes on the market is starting to shrink some. It's being what we call absorption rate, so they're getting sold. So at the end of May, there was a total of 678 homes that were on the market. Now that's in zip codes 34202 and 34211, which of course you know is the Manatee County portion of Lakewood Ranch, and we'll get into the overall Lakewood Ranch in just a minute. Now, out of those, we had 153 that went pending. So as you can see, this pending line is increasing. Looks like in December of 24, there are only 98 pending, and then it's been slowly rising. We had 153 pending at the end of May, and then 178 actually closed. So that's what I'm talking about, the absorption rate. Those closed homes pull the inventory off of the market. So that is a good trend that we see moving in that direction. What about pricing? So our average list price for prices for homes on the market for that month was $966,000. The average sold price was $863,000. And the median price, the one that fell right there in the middle, was $685,000. And you can see that is on a little bit of a downward trend, which shows that we are having that market correction. Now, price per square foot. Well, last month, $335 a square foot. So in July of 24, it was down at $317, then it rose gradually, and now it's starting to level out. You see, 2 months ago, it was $334, then $348, and now we're at $335 a square foot. A lot of this has to do with the number of very expensive properties that sold or that didn't sell, and that lets that average come down some. So days on market, this is another indicator where we're seeing the price reduction. So you can see that this list price to sell price ratio right here says 90%. So if you're listed at 1,000,000, that means that it probably sells somewhere around 900,000. But the days on market is starting to decrease a little bit. We had 73 days on market at the end of May of 2025. So here's where we're seeing our absorption rate in the amount of inventory that we have for those two zip codes, 3.8 months supply. So even though that would tell me that it is more of a seller's market, it is not. Because of the number of homes that we actually have on the market, buyers have a lot more choices right now. So what about interest rates? Well, I got burned a couple of months ago by somebody telling me that the interest rates weren't coming down, and they were correct that we have not seen much of a decrease on interest rates. So right now we're at 6.781 as far as the actual interest rate for a 30-year fixed. And then if we look at the trend line, it is staying between 7 and 6.8%. We're not seeing anything really significant change from week to week. So this is the border around Lakewood Ranch right here. So State Road 64 is up here at the top. In the middle, we have University Parkway. And then down here at the bottom, we have Fruitville Road. This would be the Windward community here. And then everything else up through here is going to be Waterside for the Lakewood Ranch area. So when I pulled the numbers for Lakewood Ranch, now this is probably going to have some new construction thrown into here. We're seeing about the same number of homes that were on the market as we did just in the 34202 and 34211. So we showed about 667 homes that were actually on the market. Average list price on those was $983,000, which very consistent between this and just the other two zip codes. What about pending? So 113 in this particular setup went pending at an average price of $911,000, and then sold 181 sold. So we do see the increase on the number of sold homes here. This probably does include some new construction as well. And so the average price on the new sales closed at $903,000. So we're seeing that up just a little bit from what the other slide showed, because a lot of this is going to have some of the new construction in it, and also stuff from the Waterside community, which is a newer development than most of the rest of Lakewood Ranch. So the purpose of this channel is to actually help buyers and sellers purchase property or sell property here in the Lakewood Ranch area, whether it's Bradenton or Sarasota, anywhere in the Manatee or Sarasota County areas. This channel is not developed to try and get large number of views so that we could have ad revenue coming in off of YouTube, which is where a lot of the creators get their ad revenue from the number of viewerships. So we're kind of a dedicated, specialized channel. Now, another thing that I wanted to drop in here is that we've started another channel called Relocation, It's Your Move. And I'll put a link to that down in the description below, so that if you live in another area and you're thinking about selling and you'd like to be connected with like-minded agents, we are part of Leading RE, which is Leading Real Estate Companies of the World. And we do a lot of referral business to agents that have very good track records, and they're of high quality, and they do a very good job in helping their clients buy and sell property. So I'll put a link to that in the video down below. Mark Boehmig, Michael Saunders and Company.